Okay, well, we have Mark McKinney here on Celtic Radio, and this will also go out on YouTube. So, Mark, welcome to the show.
Kieran, thanks very much for having me on.
No bother. You've been doing a lot these days. So much stuff going on with you. How's the music going? How's everything else with you?
Music's going good. I went done a wee bit of politics there as well. So
Aye, I seen
ran,
that.
ran a charity do there. The last Saturday night was the actual night of it, but it
Mhm.
took a good few weeks planning. And,
Aye, no, I was at the do in the point in Quigley's Point. It was very very good. Great night.
it was a good night. I had a great turnout. Place was packed. So
Mhm.
main thing was we made a good few pounds for the family that lost their house, unfortunately, to the house fire. So
That was a tragedy too, and it's great to see it. He's made up towards 7,000, was it?
over the time, I think it was about 7-3, 7-4.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Which was brilliant, like, and it was great to see everybody coming out and supporting their local
That's it.
people. So that's
Well,
great.
something like that. It's not hard to get people rallying for them.
No, it's brilliant. It shows you how good a community you're in as well. Like when you see everybody coming out together.
Indeed, yeah. Mark, you recently were in the south on a show on election. You tell us a bit about what inspired you to get involved in that.
I've always been involved in politics from day dot.
Hmm.
So I've always had a strong opinion, I should say. But in my adult life, I've always been a Republican socialist, and I've been helping people in different things. And
Yeah.
the election came up, and people says to me, "Why don't you run?" I actually had no notion of running, but people says to me, "Get in there, and at least you have a voice on council." Whereas
Okay.
normally before I'd have been knocking on the door of council.
Hmm.
So this is right. Fair enough. If you just want me to do it, I'll do it. And that's what I done. I ran.
Very
We didn't
good.
get in. We had myself in the lane. My election manager Tony Doherty.
Right.
We worked hard for about a month or so, and more, about 5 or 6 weeks. We
Brilliant.
worked really, but at least now we didn't get in, but more people know now what I do. Than
Well, it's a stepping stone for yourself. Like, don't
Mm.
give up on it because down the line, you never know. You probably will get in eventually.
I said, well, you can still do a lot even you're not in, because
Yeah.
that's doing anyway. So I
Uh,
actually highlighted what I have been doing for years. Some people did, because I didn't highlight it, so
right.
now people know what I've been doing. So
Well, that's it. And you seem to be every time I looked on Facebook or looked on the social media, you were always helping out someone. It's a great thing that you were doing.
yeah, we were doing our bit, and that's if it's worth doing. It's worth doing right. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly, Mark.
Mm.
You were up against obviously some good competition and Mickey Doherty up there as well, and people
Right,
like that.
Mickey.
So it wasn't easy.
Wasn't easy. There was a lot of people who was there for years before, so
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
the new fish. So, but we
Uh,
tried it. It didn't work, but
that's it.
we managed to
Um,
go out.
you done a great CD last year, a great album. Moving into the music now, it was a great one. New Beginnings.
New
Uh,
Beginning. That was a debut album. I'd been
it
writing for years, and
was very good. I really enjoyed that one. Now.
met up with Paul Casey, and we sat down. We worked together in that, and put down
Hmm.
10 songs that I've been I'd wrote over maybe
Yeah.
10, 15 years. Some of them more modern than others, but we sat
Well,
down and we done the album. Like, so
and you were happy with it.
I with the sound. It was brilliant. Like, so.
Good stuff.
I'm good. It went well done for me on it, and the songs came out good. So
Aye,
good
absolutely, great
album.
quality.
That so it was a good night.
Hmm.
Saw people streaming it now, so that seems to be the big thing now. Is all the streaming, and it's
Aye, it
still,
seems to have
you
gone
know,
that way, hasn't it?
yeah. CDs and records don't well, you can still get them, but nobody really buys them anymore.
There's
It's
something
all
special about them too, with the vinyls and stuff like that. There is something special about them, but we're going with the times, modern ways now, isn't it?
I'd still rather have something in your hand that you look at and go
Yeah,
artwork and whatever.
it's the same. If you think about DVDs and stuff, I prefer to have a box while I'm watching a film, kind of thing. Whereas a lot of people love the Netflix and all more. Like that's handy, but when you look at it that way too, it's similar situation.
So I remember waiting on the DVD, or not the DVD, the video
Hmm.
from the video club, and you might have to wait for it to come on because it
That's
was
right.
people. and you're waiting your father coming home from work on a Monday night thinking, no, I hope he's got it this time.
Aye, as like
It
in the
was,
likes
a big
of
thumbs up.
Blockbusters or Extravision now back in the day.
Oh, well before that.
Uh,
Well before that was down in Buncrana. You had O'Donnell's and you had, there was another one too. They opened a Tragadeer then, but
right.
I went in the videos. Rambo, I think, was one of the ones. Rambo.
Oh, aye.
But we had something written on
And
Monday
there's a
night.
new one of them coming out too. All these the older actors are still trying to make a buck, aren't they?
But not that they need it now, but
Anyway, Mark, you done a single earlier this year called "Breathing," wasn't it?
even I brought it out in January. I just brought it out for radio. I didn't put
Right.
it out on Keener and I got there.
Who did you record that with?
Same again, done with Paul.
All right.
There. So brought it out the second week in January, I think it was.
Okay.
And just put it up on radio and it's getting played and people's liking it. So
Aye.
job there. So
Good stuff. It's a nice song too. You recently done a great song called "Leaving You Behind," and you have a bit of a story behind that one. Do you want to talk about that, Mark?
I'm leaving you behind. I wrote a song that's to do with someone in a real bad place, contemplating suicide, and then I actually go ahead and do it. And it's a song it's been on. It's probably the longest song it took for me to write.
Right.
Probably over the space of about 2 years, maybe more.
Wow.
Lots of pieces of it, but I wanted to get on. I done a course myself in my partner Elaine. I done a course called Assist, which teaches you how to spot the signs of people with suicide, and actually you're qualified to talk them down and all that there. But
Right.
so
Imagine.
you get a real good insight into it. But I try to get into the mind frame of somebody in that kind of bad place. So it was hard. You could be there for a wee while and you'd write a few verses or a verse, whatever. But yes, it wasn't a nice place to stay, so I came and went with all of him.
Right.
But I wrote it anyway, and friends of mine, Colin and Claire McMonigal, they lost their son to suicide, Connor, a few years back.
Aye.
And talking to them about it, and they were actually running a pool competition at the time to raise money for Pieta House for Connor, or using Connor's name and all.
Okay.
And I thought, right, great charity, so I thought maybe we could do some with this song. So I decided to give the song to Pieta House, but there's a way you have to go through, so I had to send them the song and the lyrics and all. It took 10 days, whatever. So I actually put the song up on Facebook, and anybody wanted could get it for free, but there was also a wee donate button on it that they could donate to Pieta House if they wanted to. And this is why we were all waiting for Pieta House to get back to me. And unfortunately, they got back and says they loved the song, thought the words was great, but the actual fact that the person on the song went through and took their own life, that's not the message they wanted to be sending, which is fair enough. They want to be more fun.
But very disappointing too for you, like, in a way, but I suppose you can get what they're talking about.
You have to understand the way they're coming from it as well. Like they want to promote that there is a way out, so you have to look at it. And I didn't write the song for Pieta House, I wrote the song, and then after it thought, right, maybe we could make some money for Pieta House, so I wasn't in the frame of mind at the time to say, design the song. So to make Pieta House, I wrote the song the way I wrote it, and that was
exactly.
all.
I suppose it was a labour of love for you too, because you felt it was such a great piece. You spent years on it,
Well, it's a good song, and I kept it back. There's no real producing over it. There's 2 guitars on it. Paul played both of them on it, and the vocals, and there's not much else. It's all about the words, and in fairness, I'm proud of what I wrote.
That's brilliant. Fair play to you. We'll be playing the song after the interview as well when I put this on the show. So there you go. So it's a great tune. Played it before on the show too. Now it's very good.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And your other tunes, we played a couple of them before we had you on here, and one of them is Dreamboat. Dreamboat's a great tune from your album.
Dreamboat, it's about moving house.
Right.
Actually, I'm in the middle of doing that now at the minute, so good tune.
And then the other one was 7 Years. It's another nice. I think that's about yourself and your partner, isn't it?
That was a anniversary present.
All right.
Which is actually 8 years ago now, nearly. It'll be 8 years ago now in November.
Right. God.
Skint at the time, so I thought, right, I'll write a song.
Right.
And It was one of the quickest
From the
songs
heart.
from the heart, and I didn't take that long to write it. So I loved it. It's a lovely wee song. So
That's great. And then the other song I'm going to be playing after Leaving You Behind will be called Keep On Smiling. That's another one from your album, isn't it?
Keep On Smiling. That's one of the first. I think it's the early start of the album. It's one of the first ones I wrote.
Yeah.
That's more or less about back when this so-called crash was. Everybody was in the dole. There was no money and all the rest, and it was no matter what you watched or opened the paper, it was all doom and gloom. So
that's right. After the banks went down the road, down the drain in America, wasn't it?
Well, the banks got bailed out and the people got sold out. So
yeah,
that's what happened in the country. But no, that was all to do with that time, and people were just getting a wee bit down. It was just getting annoying, to be honest. They watch it all the time. So keep on smiling. You never know what's happening tomorrow.
That's it. And like looking at all your stuff you've done over the years, Mark, who'd be your major influences in music over the years? Like who would you look at as to help you inspire you to write your stuff?
Well, starting out playing guitar. Well, before I started playing guitar, I was a big Dire Straits fan.
Right.
Shakin' Stevens. My mother had records. Shakin' Stevens, Bon mine back in the day.
Catchy stuff.
It was. I was a wee Babington record, letting on you were playing. Who else? Michael Jackson. I was actually a big Michael Jackson fan.
Aye, hard to beat. Some great tunes.
And then when I started playing guitar, first song out was "Blown in the Wind" by Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, legend.
And Jack Tenney and Buncrana taught me the song, taught me how to play guitar.
Alright.
He opened a whole lot of books for me. Because he showed me Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
That would be all my kind of what I would listen to now. Like, and anybody that sounds similar, that would be kind of hang me.
Right.
I love to put out rock as well with AC/DC and Guns N' Roses and that.
Hard to beat that stuff. I love that stuff myself now. I like thinking about you mentioned Bob Dylan there. You think of Bruce Springsteen. I'm sure he's an influence too, is he?
Oh, big time, man.
You see, when I listen to your stuff, that Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan are the two that come to mind because I think your voice. You have a very unique voice. It's a really, really good voice, and I often think of them too because they have awesome voices as well. You know.
Aye, well, we're not the prettiest singers. Definitely not. Like, or your voice, like, but that is what it is, as the man says. But,
well, that's it. Like, you have to work with what you have, you know.
That's it. But people say.
But you used to be a bodybuilder back in the day too, so.
I done that too as well. I let myself go a bit this last few years, as you know yourself.
Well, you have to, like, you can't be friggin' perfect all the time, can you?
No, I don't think it was ever big.
But
you as well for the big weight loss.
But sure, that it had to be done. It's something that was, I suppose, written in the wind in a way.
But you've inspired a lot of people now. A lot more. But when I was bodybuilding, it was a sport to me. But
I appreciate that.
What you done was life changing, so it was.
Hopefully, long term it'll be life. It'll keep being that way. Well, that's what I'm hoping. Anyway.
You don't have that right frame of mind now, and just keep at it.
That's it. Had a weigh in there recently, and it's going good, so that's the main thing.
Proud of you, very, very proud of you.
Cheers, man. Is there anything else you'd like to elaborate on or talk about in this piece? It's been great having you on here, Mark.
No, I think we've covered most things there. So,
all right. Where can people find you online, and where are you playing these days? Can you tell us maybe about a few of your venues?
Well, live. Still, the original stuff's hard to get playing live, so
right.
We're all online at the minute. Mark McKinney Music on Facebook.
Good stuff, yeah.
And anybody that wants that single, Leaving You Behind, if you contact me on that page, I'll send it to you. Anybody that's connected to any radio station anywhere in the world, if they want to get the song, I can send it to them by email, or we can get it in some way. So that's the big thing. We're trying to push the songs now and get them out there. It's all about getting it on radio. So.
Great stuff, yeah. And sounds good, Mark. And I wish you all the best with everything you're doing.
Kieran, thank you very much.
Cheers, great to have you here. And if you want to say hello to all the listeners there worldwide, and especially in Calgary and Canada on Celtic Radio.
Yeah, big hello to everybody over there. And
I think you know Dee Brown as well, don't you?
I've spoke to Dee Brown before. She's from Ballybofey originally, isn't she?
I think she's from St Johnston up that way, somewhere around there. Anyway.
Well, I thought it was Ballybofey, but no.
Maybe it's Ballybofey originally. I could well be.
Don't know now, but no, brilliant. Great to get the chance to be heard worldwide.
Good stuff, Mark. Thanks a million for everything, and all the best. And we're going to hear some music from Mark coming up next. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, all the best.